Just another white girl with her emotional support water bottle and sweatshirt. What more could you want? Hi, hello everyone. My name is Rachel and welcome back to my channel. Today, what I thought that I would do, since it is June, thought that I would do a mid-year tag. Just gonna do the one from last year since I didn't get to do last year's because this didn't exist. So how about first I just kind of go through my stats so far of the year because it's a little bit ridiculous. I don't know the exact number, but I can ballpark how many books I've read. Yeah, I've read probably around like 83, 84 books so far, and like my goal is to reach 100. You know I'm gonna make that. Some of my other goals was like do a reread at least one book per month. Haven't been doing that. Read/unhaul my entire physical TBR. I would say I'm definitely behind on that one. I just love to read books as I get them. I don't know if you guys have the same thing, but like the longer it sits on my shelf, the less I want to read it. I don't know why. Let's see. I've read primarily romance. This is my genre tracker. However, fantasy is coming up there. These are all the books I bought so far this year. That's insane. Whoops. But I would say, been keeping up with reading them as I get them. So, which is ergo then causing the issue of me not reading the other books. So that's just kind of where I'm at so far, mid-year check-in, if you will. Let's go ahead and get to the questions for the tag. So, first question, best book you've read so far in 2023? You know, I think I'm gonna have to go with Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I would say that this is probably still my favorite of the year. Like it has stuck with me. Like I still remember like all of it. That's crazy because I don't remember books after I read them. And so for this one to really stick with me, that I still just feel that connection to it even like 6 months out of reading it, says a lot. Perfect mixture of literary fiction, like a hint of romance in there, a lot of like family drama and also just internal drama. And I just love Carrie Soto too, and I just love the vibes that this book gives. If you haven't read this one, obviously I highly recommend. I could see this one being my favorite of the whole year. Next question, best sequel you've read so far? How many sequels have I really read this year? Oh, you know what? I have to go with We Free the Stars by Hafsa Faizal. This one really made the duology for me. If you haven't read this one yet, it is a YA fantasy. It gives Aladdin kind of, really just setting wise. It gives Aladdin, but other than that, it's a completely different storyline. Highly recommend this one. If you liked City of Brass, I really think that you would like this one. What's the next one? New release you haven't read yet but want to. What day is it? Oh, The Fourth Wing. Obviously, I really want to read that one. However, I did just read a book by the same author and I did not like it. And it had mainly to do with the writing style of it. So my expectations are now that I'm thinking maybe I'll give it a 3. I have now managed my expectations for it. And I think that that'll help a lot going into it, because going into it, if I went into it not knowing Rebecca's writing, I probably would have been very, very disappointed. And I hate it when that happens. I have a feeling I'm not going to like it as much as everyone else, which is fine. We all have different reading tastes, and that's beautiful. But I still really want to read it just because it has the makings of being the book of the year just because it seems like everyone is like super into it. You never know when it comes to viral books if they're gonna stand the test of time, but I have a feeling that this one probably will. Everyone's saying that it's better than ACOTAR, or it's better than, you know, any of Sarah J. Maas's books or Shatter Me. I always feel bad when new books are pitted against ACOTAR, just because it's like ACOTAR has stood the test of time now. You're a little bit making it to where it's gonna come off as worse than it actually is. I always caution when it comes to books like that, where it's like, it's better than this uber popular book. It's like, how about you just say it's really good? I still really want to read Fourth Wing, but I have a feeling I'm not going to like it as much as the rest of the world does. So, going in with lower expectations, hopefully I will be pleasantly surprised. The next book, most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I mean, in my anticipated releases, a lot of them have already come out. I mean, I could always do Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood, which seems like a weird one. A lot of them come out at the beginning of next year. I don't know. I guess Love Theoretically, like, that's the one that I know for sure I'll want to get as soon as it's out. I love Ali Hazelwood's writing. It's always light, fluffy. I think she does well with banter. I know it's cheesy, and it's very formulaic. Like, all of her books are basically exactly the same, copy and paste. But I don't know. There's just something about them that just scratches an itch in my brain. I think people have the same feeling about Lucy Score that I have for Ali Hazelwood. It's not like I think it's gonna change my life, but it just gives me the warm fuzzies, and that's all I require from a romance. She does that in spades. So, next question. Biggest surprise. Which I love this as a section because I do biggest surprise for each of my months instead of saying the worst book I read. Should I do 2? I think the one that would be the biggest surprise is Georgie All Along by Kate Claiborne. This was right place, right time for this book, and also it was a fun way that it was written. I loved the characters. There were just so many different aspects to it that I really liked. Like, I wasn't expecting to feel emotional during it. I don't think typically people would get emotional during this book, so like, I don't know, it just hit me at a different level. Because this was one of my first 5 stars of the year. I don't know, I really needed it at the time, and so probably this one. Next question. New favorite author, or favorite new author, debut or new to you? This one's hard. You know what? Carissa Broadbent. She's new to me. I just read her The Serpent and the Wings of Night duology, which I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed her writing style. And so she's been around for a while, but she's new to me. She is a adult fantasy author, and I just like her style. I mean, I read Ali Hazelwood before. I read The Love Hypothesis, but then I read Love on the Brain this year, and that, I would say, that really solidified my love of her books, that I'm probably always going to buy her books, just because if I need a light fuzzy read, I know for sure that she will give me that, and she'll give it to me in a way that I enjoy more so than other romance authors. I want to do someone a little bit different. Oh, Miss Hafsa Faisal. I'll definitely be buying whatever she puts out. We Hunt the Flame author. They're not a different person that's like a true... Because I read debuts, but let me just say, debut authors just... I have to see where they're going to go, because a lot of times their debut book isn't necessarily the best. And so, Carly Fortune, her debut book, Every Summer After, was really good, so I'll probably always keep an eye on her. Yeah, that's probably good. Newest fictional crush. Oh gosh, what should I even... I don't really do fictional crushes, if that makes sense. Maybe Elliot from Love and Other Words. I loved him. I loved Sam from Every Summer After, which makes sense because they're basically the same person. I liked Rain from The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I really liked him. Oh, I loved Win from Happy Place. Anyways, those ones. Book that made you cry. Oh gosh, I've had a lot recently. But one that literally just made me bawl was The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. She is the author of The Fourth Wing. I cried a lot, especially at the end of this one, but it's not necessarily because of how she wrote it. It's more because like this thing in general is a sad thing to happen. And so yeah, I sobbed. Like it was just one of those things where they just kept, and I just kept on being like, Rachel, pull yourself together. Like you don't even really like this book, but that ending, it just got me. It also made me a little bit mad because it felt a little bit pointless what happened at the end. Like I was just like, nope. I have a lot of feelings about this. Honestly, I had thought about doing a review and like what notes I would give the author for this. So if you'd be interested in that, let me know in the comments. Next one. Book that made you happy. A book recently that just made me so happy. Happy Place by Emily Henry. Of course it did. Like this one just made me so happy. If you haven't seen my summer books reading vlog, you will see it all over my face. I was just so giddy while reading this one. It just made me so happy, and it's aptly named because it took me to my happy place, which is in a book that makes me happy. So I thought it was so sweet, so cute. I loved all the characters, and yeah, it just felt very real, and I loved that. Most beautiful book you bought so far this year or received? I have two, actually. The Last Summer of Newport by three people. I'm not going to say their names. This book, the aesthetic is giving Wes Anderson, and my aesthetic is Wes Anderson. I love Wes Anderson, and so if Wes Anderson made a cover, this would be it. I love this cover. I find it beautiful. The other one, a little bit like kind of similar, but it's The Wager by David Gran. This cover is what brought me to this book because it's a nonfiction. Even though the inside flap does sound very interesting, I probably wouldn't have picked it up if it didn't look like this. Let's be real. So I just find it beautiful. Just that painting of the ship and just, anyways. Okay, and then the last question, the last one on this tag is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? I mean, all of the books on my physical TBR. If you want me to get specific, I want to read The Book Thief because I don't believe I've actually read this all the way through. I think I've maybe watched the movie, but that's it. So I want to read The Book Thief. I want to read The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window and Disappeared by Jonas Johansson. This is a translated work, and it's supposed to be, like, super good. It's sold over 5 million copies, so. This is the long book that I want to still read this year. It is The Black Prism by Brent Weeks. It is a high fantasy, and she's a thick boy, so she's very intimidating, so. And then what about like a fun one? I mean, these are some books that I know I'm gonna read. Probably The Collected Regrets of Clover. Like this one has just been eyeing me for a while, and so I really want to read this one. I think maybe it'll change my life. We'll see. So these, kind of an odd bunch. An odd mix for sure. Okay, and that is it. That is it for the mid-year tag. But yeah, I'm very fascinated to see if anybody else does this because I like mid-year tags, especially because then I just add whatever books people talk about to my TBR. And so I'm hoping that other people do something like this. Anyways, let me know if you've read any of the books that I have talked about or if you add any of them to your TBR. Would love to hear that. I mean, I'm just going to continue on my jaunt to 100 books. I wonder when I'll make it. Maybe October? Probably sooner than that. Let's be real. Probably September. Honestly, No, it's probably going to be August. Maybe even next month. Guys, I need to slow down. Or not. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me today. Truly appreciate it. And yeah, with that, I will talk to you all again soon. Bye!